Congressman Peter King, who's a member of the Homeland Security and Intelligence Committees, and Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, who's a CIA-trained intel operative and senior fellow at the London Center for Policy Research. Great to see you both. Congressman King, let me start with you. Now that the United States is involved in this and seems to be suggesting that we, too, believe this plane may have been bombed, is that your information?
I cannot go into details, but I can tell you that a number of top intelligence people in our country, in Great Britain, and other countries do believe that there's a very good likelihood that this was a bomb, that some type of explosive on the plane. It's not definite, and I can't go into the details other than to say that obviously from the way Catherine was reporting and from just listening to what's being said by very top people at in all levels and in many governments, or a number of governments, there is a growing consensus that there was a bomb on the plane. But again, that's not definitive, but it's...
Right, but if that's what we're looking at, and if in fact ISIS was responsible, as it's claiming, then we have ISIS committing what they're saying is the worst terrorist attack since 9/11, successfully killing nearly 230 people, including a 10-month-old baby girl whose picture we showed the other night. I mean, just to put a human face on it. And Lieutenant Colonel Shaffer, the question is how? How?
Well, simply put, the vector of going into the aircraft is limited by only the imagination of those on the ground. I mean, let's be frank here. You've got food service. You've got people who have access to the luggage. And I wouldn't rule out someone who was actually on the flight yet. I mean, they've gone through the manifest. We don't completely know
they went
how
through the
bomb
manifest,
got
but
there.
they say that we have not found, none of the passengers or crew members were found in any U.S. terrorism databases. That's right.
But again, you know, somehow a bomb got in the aircraft, and I think we have to look at the perimeter and how it was breached. And let's remember, Megyn, the chief of security of that airport's been fired. That's a clue. And all this is circumstantial. And I think what we have to recognize, and Congressman King said the other night, you know, we have to take this very seriously. These guys have figured out a way to penetrate security and get in there. And by the way, the other night I talked about ISIS becoming expeditionary. I got a lot of pushback on that. But now it looks like more than ever that they are actually spreading their wings. They may well have recruited someone. And all the places that Catherine mentioned in her report, ISIS is in all those places. So I think we have to look at how the logical vector would have been for one of these ISIS folks to put together a weapon, a bomb, to get it through security and get on an aircraft. There may be al-Qaeda involved. There may be other elements. But I think clearly, Dr. Zawahiri, the leader of al-Qaeda, said it's time now to come together to do something. So I think the encouragement of him and others,
here's
I think
the question that people are wondering,
yes.
Congressman King. They're wondering whether this could happen at home, because what we have is TSA agents who, while doing their best, constantly let things go through. I mean, guns get through undetected, knives get through undetected, and the question is whether a bomb could get through undetected here, and whether that could have happened in Egypt as well if it wasn't an inside job where they actually just allowed it.
In fact, Megyn, it could happen. I mean, just last year in New York, there was a massive investigation. We found that for a period of a year at least, you had heavy-duty weapons actually being smuggled and put on American planes, starting in Atlanta, coming up to New York by government officials, by airport officials, rather, who are allowing this to happen. So, no, it certainly can happen. Now, we've done wonders since 9/11, and the security is so much better. But, yes, it can happen. And that's why it shows all of them a reason we have to be more vigilant as far as who's working, the security, making sure every airport worker always goes through security.
What about, let me ask you about that, because they're saying an airport source told NBC News that the Egyptian security is focusing on the departure hall, who was part of the catering and cleaning services, who had permission to be in the departure lounge. Now, what does that mean, Colonel? That they're talking about, they think it may have been food service?
Food service or departure lounge means it's someone who's actually putting people on the aircraft. That is to say that somebody who was actually an employee could have taken a satchel, something the size of a carry-on, and stuck it on the aircraft next to a passenger. The passenger may not even noticed it. So they're looking right at a source. And this is ultimately, we're talking about an insider threat. You cannot take care and prevent every single insider threat. This is why screening is so important. And in this case, Megyn, something called the Muslim Brotherhood has heavily penetrated every element of Egyptian government. So it is very possible here that we're talking about, again, a combined operation. These terrorist groups will come together to do things, and an ultimate insider could be a Muslim Brotherhood recruit who's been sitting there, a sleeper for a long time, who had access to something and slipped it in.
Unbelievable. Thank you both. Thank you for being here tonight.
Megyn, this is a game changer. This is a game changer.
Absolutely.
Congressman, thank you.